loves him, and admires him exceedingly. And it took me a long time to learn how to do that, but I'm glad that I had the Titus lessons the years that I did and was able to give that to him in the last few years of his life. Let's see. I discovered that a lot of my anger was just with my fear that I would be left a young widow, that I would be faced with, being on my own and not having that dream of growing old together with my husband. And I want to say to you, here I am, a young widow. But the years that I was angry with him were wasted years, because as Joanne and I had talked about several years ago, I had the opportunity to enjoy him for who he was, for the time that I had with him. And I'm so glad that I had those few years, that I could just really enjoy my husband and make his life better for the time that he had left with us. I never expected him to leave me as soon as he did. I knew he was in danger, but I thought, oh, he's going to get this surgery. He needed to get a defibrillator implanted, and he's going to get that put in. He was going to be good to go for years to come. But the surgery didn't happen. He died before he had a chance to have the surgery. But like I said, I thought we'd have more time, but I'm glad we had the time that we did. God has his plan, and so I can be grateful for that. After he died, I discovered I missed him terribly. Still do. He was a quiet, gentle man. He loved me deeply, thought I was beautiful, always forgave me. I would love to have him back again. And I tell you this because, I want to encourage you women who may be going through a tough time with your husband, and, to look at yourself and say, okay, how much of this is me? And be willing to make the changes that you need to make so that you can love your husband, because you don't know how long you're going to have him. He might be in good health, but he could be in a car accident and be killed, any day. And I don't wish that on anyone. It's a terrible thing. But I'd like to end this with some information about what happened after he died. I had a memorial for him in May. And I had set it up to have a couple of his friends talk, and then I left it as an open mic for people to come and share. And there were some amazing stories from people about what a wonderful guy he was, how he inspired them spiritually, even though I didn't see him as being this great spiritual guy, that he was just this quiet guy who talked with people one-on-one and just encouraged them. He was a sports nut, drove me nuts. I was so sick of sports, but it was his thing. And he would go to the local high school games, and he would support these kids. After he became disabled and was at home, that was what he lived for, was going to all the sporting events. And especially at Hart High School, he would go to every sporting event that was at home, and would talk to the kids and encourage them, and just, they just look forward to seeing him out there. So, when he passed away, he actually passed away on the Hart campus. And he had a baseball in his hand that he had apparently gotten up off his scooter to go pick up this baseball, because he always kept them as little souvenirs. And he passed away getting the baseball. So they had the baseball, they had stuck it in the front of his car, his little basket there. And so I kept the baseball, and I thought, it would be neat if I could get the school to just have all the kids on that team just sign that ball. So I took the baseball over, and I talked to the principal and asked him, would he please ask the coaches and the kids to sign, because that would, I knew that would have meant a lot to my husband. So that was within a few days of him passing away. And so the memorial was like 6 weeks later, and I hadn't got the ball yet, and I was kind of disappointed. And I got to the memorial, and the coach was there, and he said, "I have something for you." And he took me over to this table, and there was a ball from every sport, from all the different teams, all signed by JV, varsity, the whole thing. And so I have this collection of balls that are all encased with all the signatures from all these people who so appreciated what he had done, in supporting them. He also was very involved at College of the Canyons for the football team there, and had done the tailgate parties for them. And they have put a plaque for him up in the Cougar Den, honoring him for all that he had done there. And it was just really neat. It was neat for me to see for my son's sake, because he and his dad didn't gel real well. My husband was so into sports that my son just hated him, didn't want anything to do with him. And the sports, not my husband. But they had a strained relationship, and he kind of frowned on his dad because he was sickly, and all the things that we had to go through. He had to witness all these things, and he was frustrated with it. And to be able for him to hear all these wonderful things about his dad from all these people was just an amazing blessing. So, all that said, I can look back now and say, you know what, I had a great guy. I wish I would have appreciated him more sooner, but I finished well, and I feel good, and I hope that you all can someday say you finished well with your husbands as well. Thank you.